Alrighty, guys, welcome back to the action. Again, it's Selfless versus Winterfox. Mirage is going to be the battleground, and we should be getting live here soon. Winterfox taking Train 16-10 over Selfless earlier. My name is Mega Man. Joining me for this cast today is going to be Bach, or Mark, however you want to address him. Hopefully he's doing all right. I know we're hanging in there right now. It's going to be a long day of CS, my friend. We're used to long casts together.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday I did all of Philadelphia 7.5, and I got home, left at 8, like 8. I think I left there, I got there at around 8, and I left around 3 a.m. So, it's just a marathon kind of.
Sounds like a Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's just long days. We're used to it. It's the way it worked.
Absolutely. I'll never forget my first big cast at Philadelphia, the very first one where I cast for 25 hours in a row. Never again. Nevertheless, we see Selfless win the knife round, so they're going to probably start on the CT side, and they will. So looking to bounce back from that loss on Train, it'll be interesting to see how they adapt onto Mirage. This is a map that they've had some highs and lows on. Winterfox on the adverse side has also had some highs and lows on this matchup. They actually just recently won a map off of, I have to look it up real fast to be able to tell you. You might have that information in front of you. I'll look at it though.
I do not have it in front of me.
They beat Optic 16-6 on this map earlier in the season. We actually saw that, I think it was 2 weeks ago or maybe last week that went down. So they've had some highs and lows on the map. Well, we are live into the pistol round, so take us away here, Blue. Or, Bach.
Whoa, hey!
Whoa! I miss Blue, okay? You're my boy, Bach.
Lex gonna in a tight spot here back in T Apartments. He's gonna backpedal. A nice shot is the fadeaway with the Glock. He's got two chasing him down. He's got the bomb on his back as well, so he's gonna hightail it out of there. XP3 getting all the way up cat for basically free because of the fact that two CT side players had pushed in towards underpass, and the B side players had evacuated the site. Mainline now taking the fight with XP3. Lex is just hanging back, waiting for XP3 to get in towards the site a little bit more so they can pinch this player in Apartments. So there you go. Lex takes down the man. That was in Apartments. That's Mitch. Mainline does get the frag on XP3 in the site, though. Now XP3, or actually Lex for that matter, very low on HP, and the CT side surrounds him. Very chaotic and sort of typical pistol round there, but it is Selfless coming away with the W.
Yeah, and much needed. Immediately, you already see the M4 into the hands of Uber. They're going to pick up a couple of UMPs, a P90 for Mitch, a Scout for Nifty. Going to try to go to work this round. It's going to be Armored Beagles here, mostly for the terrorist side. Lex and XP3 going to pick those up. P250s to round it out and see if the Scout can do a little bit of damage. He's going to get contested here at the top side of mid. There is a smoke out. They're going to go for a boost play over the top, but it's Uber spamming away. Actually gets knocked down to 58 by Desi coming around from Palace.
Mitch on catwalk with the P90, trying to just spot the heads of anyone from Winterfox moving up in mid. He's going to spam away through the plywood there. Not going to do any damage. Flosic going to get the first kill of the round as Nifty gets taken down. Flosic makes his way all the way through window, and I couldn't see what Flosic had picked up from the corpse there. I think it was a Scout. Wouldn't have been the world's most useful weapon given the scenario. Mainline with the pop flash from Apartments. He's going to get two with the UMP. Now they know where he is. Doesn't matter. He's going to get a third. Now he wants the fourth. And there you go. An impressive 4K for Mainline with the ump. You know what they say? The ump says you're out.
Look at the money that he's got. 6,200 going into round number 3. Nice. 2 kills in the pistol round, 4 in the anti-eco round. This is almost reminiscent of what we saw out of the start from Desi on the last map, where he had 8 kills in the first 2 rounds. So nicely done there. Team Selfless going to find themselves in a little bit more of a comfortable area to start this one off. Nifty's going to stay onto a Naked Deagle going into this round because he wants to get the up as soon as humanly possible. And you can actually see it's going to be 4 Glocks. Anger with the Desert Eagle here for Winterfox, but XP3 on the opposing side wants to get in on that as well. And they're going to burst on through here, but there's a cleanup. The ump's going to work. Relics finds 2. Uber with the M4 going to find one as well. Now they lurk another one through late. That was a little bit of a delay there, but they're going to be able to find 1 kill. But Nifty with the Deagle shuts them down. Uber with the M4 picks up a second, and Selfless pick up their third.
So Nifty goes with just the Deagle in that round so he could go into the op. And we've seen him work that Deagle quite well. just something he picked up naturally. He's a COD transplant, so he came over from Call of Duty. I think he used to play for Elevate's Call of Duty team. And the first few times I played him, he came over from Call of Duty. He still hadn't been playing the game that long. He was playing with teams that were playing in Premier. And it was clear that his aim just, like, really translated well to CS. But one gun that I've seen him do a lot with was the Deagle. So something about that gun and Call of Duty and CS, I don't know what it is, but it works out nicely for him. He's going to be picking up the off this round, though, and he's going to head over towards T Apartments, getting a little aggressive, peeking towards the crack to try and spot a player coming up towards the top of stairs. And it is going to be Lex coming into that position, so Lex has to be careful here. Nifty is holding. Lex is going to get spotted, but Nifty does not hit the shot, actually takes a bit of damage. He's going to have to fall off, but Mitch, meanwhile, with the P90, getting that first frag of the round, starting Selfless with a nice little 5-on-4.
Yeah, that's a good find. I mean, playing up close on the ladder in the little cubby there on Catwalk, but mainline, okay. XP3 lines him up. Desi knocks down XP3. So a little bit of a miscue, a free 2-for-1, I suppose, in that situation. Finds the damage, and they find themselves with the man advantage still into this round. So it's a 4-on-3. They've got one player all the way back in CT, but Relic's making a play right now. He's pushing for information, trying to gather up where they're going to be hitting, but it's left the A-bomb site open. And this is going to be a little bit scary here for Selfless, is because they're going to allow Winterfox to get control of this A-bomb site. And if they're not quick on the rotation, then potentially they could shut this down very, very quickly. But now they're going to hear it. Desi had to make that move across from window room because he did have the bomb. Now he's going to run in, goes for the plant. Lex is positioned for that push to come around from CT. So Uber goes down. No trades available, but Relix comes back up through Palace, spots out one, gets an AK, and now it's going to be the man advantage again. But Desi's going to be able to chime in, takes down Mitch. It's going to be on Nifty to come off a catwalk, and it's really going to be Relix. Is he going to be ready for this player to be down here by fireboxes? And that's actually Lex, who switches his position down underneath the balcony. So this is actually a really smart play. Desi coming around from CT, going to bait him out, and Lex is going to finish him off. So nicely done from Winterfox. The man disadvantage, they end up coming out on top. So 3-1, Winterfox take the first gun round.
Yeah, you know, Relix came in through Palace, and it was perfect. I mean, he flanks and catches Flowsick completely off guard. Flowsick even pushed into Palace, peeked back towards T-spawn to see if anybody was in there. Relix hadn't come around the corner yet, so Flowsick assumes that Palace is clear. He even turns back one more time, just thinking, there's got to be someone coming in this area, but he couldn't get the shot on Relix in time. The problem was that Nifty was just so far away that he wasn't really able to support his teammate. Anger with the Galil in mid, gonna drop, as did his teammate XP3. Good mid aggression here. Timing that well, the double push on mid. They're going to be able to get full control of upper mid. Relix does find himself an op, but he's got to be careful here. He's got two pushing towards his direction, and Desi doing what Desi did in the last map, and that's given some clean-cut haircuts. Taking off the heads of both Relix and Nifty in mid. No op for you. It's going to be down to a 3v3 here, and it's all rifles at this point. With the bomb positioned on A ramp, both players making their way over towards B. If Lex drops here, that's full control of the round to Selfless.
Yeah, so again, just really rough situation, but they do start to bring it back. Uber's going to be able to pick off one, still looking for more, but that bomb being down on the A ramp and the two terrorists so disengaged from the rest of their team at the moment, just going to be in a really hard-pressed situation to get back in this one. Uber's up on top, outside of terrorist spawn. Pop Flash comes around the corner, but now that's given up Flow6's position. And really, it's going to be a matter of what's he going to find when he comes around the corner, and he isolates a 1v1. Now he knows that Uber's up top. He's going to be able to pop some shots out. Actually throws out a fake flash, and that gets Uber to bite. So now it's going to come back into a 2v1, and this flank from CT pays off, and the patience perseveres for Winterfox. They get a second round on the board, and it should have never happened.
Yeah, these don't really feel like solid plays necessarily from Winterfox. Some early mistakes end up putting them in a disenfranchised position. It's late round mistakes from Selfless that allow them to get back into the round. So Selfless has bomb control, and it's a, what was it, a 2v2 or a 3v2 at that point, and somehow Winterfox wins. You know, they go with that mid aggression early, they take the off, they take a rifle, didn't make a difference. So now Selfless is going to be on an eco here, trying to get aggressive as they push up on Catwalk. Relix is going to hear him in T-Apps. There's one in Underpass as well. So they're just kind of spreading out on the map, slaughtering them one by one. And it's down to just three here, Uber, Relix, and Mitch. And they're all pretty much across the map from one another. Mitch on Catwalk, Uber towards ramp. Relix is over on B with Mitch. But even with the pistols stacked up, how much damage could they really do? Mitch spots one in connector, trying to get the headshot on the Flowsick, but meanwhile, it's a headshot for a counterpart on the opposite end as XP3 takes down one. Great shooting from Mitch, though. The 1D from long range from downtown. He's actually going to get himself a second as well before dropping to Flosick. So 3-3 is going to be your scoreline. Winterfox bring it right back around after losing the pistol and the ensuing eco rounds. They've tied the score up.
Yeah, very sloppy from Selfless on those first 2 gun rounds, and Winterfox capitalizing even with the man disadvantage. They get the freebie out of that last round. They only lose 2 players, so 2 rebuys, and Lex is actually going to be on an up into this round, so that's kind of curious. No up for XP3, but hey, if it's not broken, there's no need to fix it. So again, we're going to see Winterfox. They're sending a couple down into underpass. The flashbang does come out from the city side, but it's going to clear, and Relics is going to go down. So he does a little bit of damage on the Flosick. Desi tries to get himself out from the A ramp, but he gets caught in the back by Uber, so it's still on even strength. That nade's going to soften up XP3. Actually takes 43 off his chest, so a nice little bit of a find there for the Selfless side, and a lot of damage has been dealt here onto Winterfox to start the round. Uber's going to probe for information up there in the palace, spot that that's clear, and be able to assume at least that the avenue of attack is going to be a little bit different here from the Winterfox camp. But the bomb rotating back around to CT, or pardon me, terrorist spawn on the back of Lex. Looks like they might go for like a connector towards A split, but Uber should be able to shut down the bomb carrier here in just a second as Lex rounds the corner. 3, 2, 1, dead.
Yeah, and that bomb's now in a really difficult spot where they know that Uber is going to be here, but not really many flashes or anything you can do to get into that position. You just have to go with the dry peek exactly like XP3 does, because even a pop flash is going to land below the sight line because of the stairs. Kind of just gotta go for the fight. Doesn't go their way. Anger peeks towards CT. Last man standing gets a 1-for-1. And Selfless bring it right back after losing 3 in a row. The money on Winterfox is kind of all over the place. They very well could buy here. It would be awkward, but they could do it. Desi could drop XP3. The rest could force. Or they could save, build up the money. They look at the fact that they've already got 3 rounds, figuring, well, we get a few more, we'll be happy. So let's not go crazy too early on. It's still a close game at this point, and that's exactly what they do.
Yeah, and this is the right call, obviously. I mean, they did have enough to invest into this, but they're going to play this one smart. They've got plenty of rounds left to play. Now it's going to be this pinch on towards Connector, and Nifty's got to readjust. He can only find 1. He gets traded immediately. The Glocks come into play. Now it's going to be a 1 ding on the cat. Desi looking for a second one. They've got to be careful. They need to stop over-peaking these Desert Eagles because they can do so much damage, but it's Uber tapping away from long range that's going to be able to at least swing it back into their favor for the time being. He actually spots the other player up there on catwalk as well, but that's Lex looking for the Desert Eagle headshot. Not going to be able to find it at the moment. And they're slowly losing their HP, slowly getting whittled down. XP3 coming back around from terrorist spawn to try to get a bomb plant here at the A. Lex on catwalk throwing a pop flash out. Main line's going to be over there. That's going to fully flash Lex. He finds cover, but main line's going to be able to decapitate him. The nice peek there, and now we're going to see XP3 can do anything. He's pulled the rotation off from CT, but now they're starting to filter on back over. And just going to try to play this sneaky beaky like for the time being. They have no idea he's Firebox.
Yeah, Uber should be able to take him out, though. I mean, XP3 was so low on HP, and he catches just a glimpse of XP3 coming around from Firebox. He wanted to go for that last-second ninja plant, but not going to happen, so no bonus cash going into the pockets of Winterfox this round. They're going to be coming into another buy round, though, and a very well-equipped one because they, hesitated to go for the force buy, which is great. Showed, really strong control to not force up in that last round. They're going to have a solid buy here. CT side money has recovered a little bit, but this is a swing round. Whoever wins this one is likely to force their opponent onto an eco because neither team has really fully recovered from the economic situation. And Uber pushed up close on ramp. A very risky situation, but high risk, high reward. If Winterfox does not check this, he should be able to get a couple kills, but they hear him drop off the box, and it's an easy entry for Lex. Now it's on Relics to try and stop the A-push, and Relics is getting flashed down. He's over towards stairs. He's going to have to surrender the site and allow for the plant. Then they can play for the retake.
Nice shot there on catwalk, and the flank comes out from Connector, so this gets shut down really, really quickly, and again, it's a situation where there's no money on the CT side. They drop this round, they're forced to save, like you said earlier. Now, Anger up here in Connector, he's looking for Nifty to drop out from the window. He has no idea that Mitch is at the top of mid, but this has to be a save call. I mean, it is down to a 2v2, but time ticking off the clock. They do have 2 kits. They could have maybe made a bid for this, but with Mitch being as low as he is and not knowing the post-plant positions here from the Winterfox players, there's no reason to risk it right here. Again, there's still a handful of rounds left to be played into this half, but Winterfox, they do pick up their 4th round. And with the limited amount of money that they have on the Selfless side, they can pick up a rifle on Relics. They can drop a FAMAS from Mitch and a FAMAS from Nifty, but they're going to sacrifice a little bit as far as utility if they do decide to force up here. Now, the good thing is that Mitch and Nifty kept a lot of their nades from the last round.
Yeah, they're going to have a ton of utility to work with. Excuse me. Still recovering from some of the rough voice that I built up yesterday. Trying to make sure that my voice is nice and silky smooth. Having a hard time. Either way. Looks like Winterfox is going to be going a little bit heavy towards the B presence. They do have 2 players watching for that push mid, which they saw Selfless do a few rounds ago. Lex spamming through the smoke in apartments. Flosic following up in similar fashion. Desi sitting way back in Palace over on the A site. He's all by himself. Probably just going to be a hard lurk unless they decide to swing a bomb in that direction. And based on the fact that they haven't really even declared which way they're going to go, they really could swing it back towards A right now, especially with the amount of mid presence they have.
Yeah, nice shot from Mitch, though. Off of Catwalk into connector. 2 taps, takes down Flosic. So that's a nice find here for Selfless and a good start to the round for them as well. That bomb still all the way back in terror spawn. It looks like it's going to come back towards the A bomb site. And this is where they've been finding pretty much all of their success on the Winterfox side, is these hits in towards A. The smokes have been on point. They've been able to get these entries into the site. Uber, again, isolated here underneath of the balcony. Relics is over here by connector, but the big part about it, even with his position at jungle, they can kind of creep up a little bit now. He's going to spot the head, though, gets the flick shot, takes down XB3, and now it's going to be a 2-man advantage, but it's going to be Uber. He's going to have to come up big, and he does find one. The Desi trades him, takes big damage, but now it's just going to be all down to Desi. He finds a second one. He's got to get 1v3 at this point.
Desi's got the AK. He's going to move back in towards the site. He grabs the bomb and goes for the plant, so it is going to be at least the $800 deposit into the bank account of the T side, and that nade directly on top of his noggin.
Cool, coach.
That's going to result in the 6th round now for Selfless. And really limited damage dealt to Selfless as well, only dropping 2 players. Uber and Mitch go down. The other players survive, and again, with a little bit of utility left in their pocket. Nifty's really the one that's starting to pile up the cash the most, and it's kind of surprising given that he's the op, but he's not using the nades as much as the rifles, as he's just trying to take those long-range duels in mid. It's going to be another save here for Winterfox, and I'd be surprised if this was anything other than mid or B present. A lot of times that's where teams tend to go on these save rounds. And you can see the smoke's going to rain out so they can get over towards the boxes. And now where do they decide to take this one? Actually looks like they might go for an A play here as Flosic sets up for a nice little smoke. Nope, that's just for the top of connector so they can try and get up Catwalk. Kind of interesting. I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's going to be a cat B split here. You've got Lex and Desi with the bomb working their way up. Nifty is over here at the B bomb site. He's going to be able to read this one relatively well. And Flosic trying to get in behind the smoke, but Relics is savvy. The only frag that they're going to get out of this round is going to be XP3 finding one onto Nifty. They do drop the off, but they should be able to salvage that, so that's not going to be a big waste of economy for them. And I like the thought. It was executed well. I would have liked to see Flosic go up cat with the rest of his team there. To try to bombard that bomb site, but it was read really, really well by Selfless's side. I mean, Nifty rotating over. As soon as he got smoked off in window, it looked like he had an idea as to what was going to be coming his way. So he went over towards the window and kitchen and was able to find that pick on that player coming in from Catwalk.
I really do like the strategy. I thought it made perfect sense. It was a great play. They smoke off with that nice little smoke to get them up cat. They smoke window. They just couldn't get the kills they needed, and they got obliterated on the take. I like seeing a team do something that I haven't seen a million times. So it's promise from Winterfox, the fact that they actually put some thought into a B execution, one that I haven't seen before. Uber's just going to dry peek on upper and catches Anger sleeping, so that's going to be a little bit frustrating for Anger, as he was probably not expecting a player to do that. And now they are getting slaughtered over on the A site as Uber and Nifty just put on a show here.
No
Uber's going to
damage.
get the last one as XB3 comes out of Palace. Nifty picked him off trying to get up ramp. It was pretty much a flawless victory there for Selfless. I don't even think they took any damage. And
No, that wasn't pretty much a flawless victory. That was 100% flawless. Not a single point of damage from the terrorist side onto Selfless at all. So that's a huge stand. And they got away out of that round with using minimal utility too. One Molotov and one flash onto that A ramp burned and blinded two of the players that were coming up, and they were easy targets for them to get picked off by Selfless's side. So really well coordinated from them on that round, but this time around, I don't know what the hell Flowsick's doing up there in the B halls right now. He's just running around in circles. I have no idea what that was. Fast connector push, though. This should get locked down. It is going to be the AK of Uber in the back of that site. He finds two, looking for a third. Not able to get it. They do manage to fight back a little bit. Lex and Anger are going to find a pair. But again, you've still got Nifty over here by the ticket booth, but both terrorists over in jungle right now. So they're going to try to use the close range advantage of those pistols if they possibly can. Relic's coming up through connector. There's still one over by ticket booth, and there's one over here on cat. They're going to spot him out. Main line's going to take the fight to him, and actually finishing it off is going to be Relic. So 9-4 Selfless. They kind of equalized themselves going into the later stages of this half. And one of the players that we talked about on Train, Bach, that we wanted to see step up, or that's kind of one of their more powerful fraggers on Selfless's side, is Uber, and he's up at 15-6 right now.
He started to turn things around in the second half a little bit when Selfless started to bring it back. So yeah, he's having a much more Uber-like performance on this map than he was having on Train. And we mentioned Selfless just struggles on Train. They're a little bit more comfortable on Mirage. But a 1-for-1 to start things off here as Lex gets the refrag on the main line, who took down his teammate Flowsick in apartments. Mitch is going to come around the corner, and Lex is just holding this perfectly. Does not expect a double player peek from underpass. Totally caught off guard by that. Forces things back down to a 3-on-3, and they have bomb. They don't know it yet, though. Uber has yet to actually push up far enough to see it. If he had made his way through TV room, he would have seen the bomb sitting on the balcony there. And then he really could have made a huge play. But at the same point in time, that smoke's going to force the T side, who seemed like they wanted to go right in towards Uber, back into mid. And they do have a semi-two-player play on the A side here, as Relix is in window, but could easily float back towards connector as he does. Nice pop flash from Relix, just a little bit too shallow. And they boost in the window, so that's going to be a good way to push things back into their favor, tipping the scales, but right back to a 2-on-2. And Nifty gets spotted, so he's going to have to get out of dodge. Throws the molly down to prevent the cross into sight, but they can still wrap around behind default box. Nice flash to follow it up. But a 2-on-2 here, and Winterfox can't really plant the bomb yet.
No, not at all. I mean, they have no smoke on CT. That's going to be really tricky with the AWP of Nifty just watching from ticket booth. And now XP3 is going to have to take a fight. Nifty's not ready for that, but they can't possibly expect Uber to be coming from the same angle. But he does miss the shot, unfortunately, for XP3. Another round on the board here for Selfless. That's going to put him up at 10-4. And they've really recovered nicely in this half. That's 5 in a row for them now. It's going to be another buyout here from the Winterfox side to close out the half. But an 11-4 half for Selfless would definitely be a nice turnaround from the way that things were looking on Train.
Yeah, a nice little turnaround considering, they really couldn't get anything going on their T side on Train. So getting the start on the CT side is going to make them feel a little bit more comfortable, which is where they started to bring it back around on Train. So now they won't be at that large deficit, at least, going into the second half. They'll be the ones leading. So if they do struggle, it won't seem as desperate. It won't get into their heads so quickly because they'll still have a pretty good margin for error. Something we had said a lot of times in the second half last time. They didn't have a very large margin for error the way that the first half went. And I think they even lost the pistol round, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, they were in a really tight spot. Nifty in apartments, pushing up right in front of that smoke. He's got to be careful here. The no-scope shotgun style right into Desi. He's got one jumping out of the window. He's getting burned alive, though. Luckily for him, mainline is there with the support. Flashbang to follow up as Flowsick tries to take down the players close towards Get Right. Bomb, though, is going to be making its way in towards Connector, so it was a bit of a B fake, but it doesn't appear to have worked. It's down to just Flowsick, the only player who survived that fake towards B. And I don't know if it was a miscommunication or what, because the play just didn't seem to make too much sense there. Obviously, they wanted to get the bomb plant, but they sacrificed 3 players with a pretty heavy push towards B. And it's Selfless taking the round and the half 11-4.
Yeah, and you can see this is kind of the curse of Winterfox throughout this season, is they look great on one map and then they look like crap on the next. I mean, the 4 rounds that they won were awesome. They were great rounds for Winterfox. They pulled them off. I mean, it was, multiple players left alive at the end of the rounds, very clean, good entries. Very solid set smokes, predominantly over towards that A bomb site. I believe they won all 4 of their rounds over at the A bomb site. And then Selfless, they tweaked what they were doing on their CT side a little bit, and they come back and they went out the half, which is massive. So they've got huge momentum after that first half. They're going into this, they've just won 6 rounds in a row. And, you know, at this point, you know, you see Winterfox, they're gathering a lot of information. Mainline, though, he's in a great spot. Mitch is going to be coming around, try to give him a little bit of support, but he's going to peek out, finds the first one, looking for the second one, but now XP3 is kind of stuck, and Mainline capitalizes on it. So the aggression gets countered by a nice play from Mainline being patient in the backside of Palace Hawes, and they find 2. And now Flowsick, also aggressive in mid, gets shut down by Mitch, and not a lot of damage being dealt here from the Winterfox side.
I love the slam dunk there from Mainline too, the jumping burst fire right into the head. I think it was XP3 who had pushed up on range. But Anger getting a nice headshot on the Relics, who creeps around through connector. They had 2 players pushed up in towards Palace early on in the round, or actually T Apartments, I apologize, on Selfless. Looked like they were going to go B, and now they just decide, never mind, let's go towards the A site. So even though they lost Relics, they pulled that one player out. That's Anger. He was playing jungle, now he's back towards B. They've split the defenses here. It's just 1-on-1, or 1-on-4 on each side, I guess you could really say. Can Lex get out of this position without being punished? Good shot onto the first one and the second. That's huge. And the players that are left on the side not really able to trade out because they're so far away. He's going to go ahead and stick it. He does have a kit. Even if he dies in this position, at least the kit is on the bomb. Comes all down to Anger, though. 15 HP, a P2K. And both players on the T side are sitting pretty. Even if he goes for this, they do have a nade as well, so Mitch could just drop one right in his breadbasket. This should be a round for Selfless.
He does pick off Mitch, though, but not going to be able to capitalize and win the round out here. We saw, actually, the last time, I believe it was when they played against Optic on this map where they won 16-6. He actually got a double headshot Colat kill in the pistol round with a P2000 to win it in a 1v2 with like 10 HP. So, you know, I was kind of holding my breath to see some of that magic again from Anger, but unfortunately he's going to come up a little short on that one. But one thing to note, actually, is at one point in this matchup, Desi was 5-3. He is 6-12 now. So he went 1 for 9 in the last part of that in the last part of that first half. So he's kind of cooled off now a little bit. It's Lex leading the way. Even XP3, you know, he didn't really op in that first half, but, you know, not super effective as they went on. And this is almost a mirror image of what happened on Train before, and this is an opportunity for Selfless to actually potentially get up to a 14-4 scoreline and have a very dominant victory in this match.
We said it at the beginning of the night. Winterfox, despite their record, people don't really give them the respect they deserve. However, they've never 2-0'd an opponent, and they've only been 0-2'd once. They've always traded maps 1 for 1. So if this were to happen, it would be kind of par for the course for Winterfox, and it has gotten off to a really great start for Selfless as they're at 12-4, and Winterfox is ecoing here. This really is just a repeat of Train, except it's a different map and the teams have swapped. Uber's going to go for the boost over. I don't think they realize that Flowsick is as close as he is. Oh, Flowsick's going to put a lot of damage down, but just a second too late. Nifty was waiting up on top of the brick boxes, ready to pounce. And now both players in B about to get picked apart here by Mitch. Drops Anger very low in HP. The last few bullets finally connecting. And Selfless take the round with only losing 1 player in Uber.
Yeah, and look at the frag totals here for Selfless. Your top player is sitting at 19 kills. Your bottom player is at 12. 7 kills spread the difference between the top and bottom players on these teams. On the Selfless side. Nifty at 12 and 9. Didn't really get too terribly much op action going on in that first half. Uber leading the way at 19. You've got 15, 16, and 13 for the other players. So they're fragging as a unit right now. Every single one of them being impactful into each one of these rounds. And it's very, very cool to see. But on the opposing side, we see an early buy coming out from Winterfox, and this could be a little bit scary here for Selfless because they're sitting on 2 umps and a MAC-10 to boost those 2 AKs. Now they're going to know that it's a buy, and Mainline's going to try to get himself the hell out of there. It's a fast push in towards the A bomb site right now. Lex goes down over there by Ticket Booth. Desi gets 1 and done. Flowsick coming off a catwalk. He's going to be able to clean up Mainline, but that's only a MAC-10. It's still a 3-on-3. Coming around from CT spawn, though, as XP3 does take down Mitch. The bomb does get planted now in that A bomb site. It's going to be on to Relics and Uber. Relics has one of the AKs. Uber's trying to get down in towards CT spawn to try to shut down one more, and he does just that. XP3 is now off the board. He's got an FAMAS at his feet if he wants to try to pick that up, but Relics through the smoke's going to find one over there by stairs, and it's all down to Anger trying to creep around this smoke, but this crossfire is going to be very, very strong, and Relics comes out on top.
Excellent timing there from Relics. You know, he ducks behind that smoke. It was a good timing on the peak by Relics as well when he takes out Flosick on stairs. So Flosick actually dinks him and then reels back downstairs, not wanting to, you know, overextend the fight, knowing that he's still got teammates. Then when he comes towards the top of stairs and tries to jump across towards Tetris, that's when Relics pounces, and it results in the 14th round victory here for Selfless. And it's just an eco to separate Selfless from tie point, or 15 or 14-5 at this point. I mean, Winterfox, they just haven't really had anything left in the tank. They maybe have exhausted themselves, putting everything they had into train. Now they come into Mirage and they're just getting plucked apart. Their T side did not go well, and we had said a confidence-based team that when they start losing can be really difficult for them to recover. This is that happening right now. Where we saw Selfless come back in the second half and mount a comeback of sorts, we haven't seen such a fight from Winterfox as of yet. They're unable to find any kind of weakness for Selfless on their T side, and it looks like this could be the end here. It comes down to this eco, and it's just left and right, a slaughtering from Selfless, just picking apart every player on the map. Desi drops, XP3 drops, Anger drops. It's just Lex and Flosick left standing.
Yeah, and Lex is pushed down on a ramp. This is kind of a forward position, but it's not even going to get contested because that bomb is working its way over and towards the B bomb site. Flosick hears him going up on Cat too. See if he decides to peek out, but they're going to wrap around. Relic's going to go down in towards CT spawn. No, actually, he's going to come back around, and they do catch him out, which is a nice little bit of a find. They might be able to take an AK into the next round, but you can see the hunt is kind of on here from the Selfless side. I'm going to leave one player over there in Market, one player in the backside of the B halls. Other two just going to go on the prowl right now. Going to try to find what they can in this round. And nifty. Well, movement's on point. Going to get around the corner. Uber does find Lex. And I mean, I'm just going to go on the record here and say that Uber is one of the best entry fraggers in North American Counter-Strike. The guy's incredible when he's on point. And he's pretty consistent. That's the other side that I want to say too, is his ability to open up rounds for Selfless is outstanding.
You know, and there's something to think about. One, I love where they've gone with their current team model, like even just the team tags. Team is greater than mainline, basically, but making it clear that it's not about one player, it's about the whole team. It doesn't matter how well you play, we got to win games. And if you play great and we still lose, it doesn't mean anything for us. But if you look at their roster, who were these players before they played for this team? The only one who played at pro level was mainline. The rest of these guys were nobodies before they joined this roster. Relics was a streamer. Uber was just a main player. Kusta was just a main player. Like, these guys just kind of fumbled their way into this roster, and then Ryu crafted them into the players they are today. And they really have become some juggernauts. Some of these players are very talented. Uber is definitely one of them. Not really showcasing their talent right now, though, as they're getting picked apart by Winterfox trying to go for this A execution. So despite the fact that they found themselves on the 15th round, Winterfox puts up a fight, and they pick up number 5, their first in the second half here. Could a comeback be mounting? Potentially, but Winterfox hasn't really had much to say about it so far on their CT side here, as we did see Selfless pick up the first 4, and there is going to be another buy coming out for Selfless, so they're going to have to fight against another buy before they can break the money, and then when they can do that, then you can really start considering the possibility of a comeback.
Oh, Desi's going to get aggressive down here in Connector. He's lucky that he didn't get spotted. Could have very easily gone down to that player that was boosted up on top of the boxes in mid. Flosick on Cat, finds a little bit of damage up towards Uber. He's down to 28 HP, so that's a nice little bit of a find. That's their top fragger for Selfless at 23 and 8. But again, Mitch, Relics, and Mainline all have 17. They're all just 6 kills behind him at the moment. Nifty. That was funny. I don't know if you're in Mitch's point of view right now, but that Molotov landed right behind Nifty. He just kind of looked at it for a second, was like, oh, it's not going to spread. It's not going to spread. It spread. And then he just panicked. Lex, though, he's in a tricky little bit of a position here behind default in that A bomb site. They're going to be picking up the bomb and potentially working up here. They've got a lot of mid control on the Selfless side. Uber actually just exchanged places with Desi through the smoke, and he comes back around the side. Mitch finds one. Desi goes down, and it's all going to be on Anger to save it. He's got to clutch it to stay alive. Uber coming around from jungle side. I mean, they've got really good positions right now, very strong positions. If this gets planted for Connector, which is exactly where it's going to get put down, Mitch is over here by the stairs. They've got one by jungle. Relics has got an opportunity to get out towards balcony if he so desires. Mitch is actually going to go all the way down the stairs now. Anger does find one, but these post-plant positions, they're both going to be able to put themselves into a position to double peek out. Molotov does rain on out, but Anger not privy to get on that bomb just yet. He does have a kit to work with. Found another Molotov, but I mean, it's just, this is so difficult for him, and there you go. 16-5 going to be the final score in this one. Selfless, they answer back after that loss on Train to be able to take Mirage.
Impressive 1-1. You know, this is kind of what we had predicted. We said that there was a likelihood that Winterfox was going to trade maps with Selfless. People probably looked at it from the outside looking in and said, Winterfox's team has been struggling. Selfless just beat Luminosity the other day in a best of 3. Clearly, Selfless should win this, but Winterfox is not necessarily a slouch. Way better than I think people give them credit for. And they proved it today. Obviously, Mirage was a different story. Train seemed to be their stronger map, and it wasn't just them like pugging Train either. Like, the way that they played Train was actually very clean. I really liked the way they played Train. We saw a lot of executions from Winterfox on their T side that proved they put in a lot of work on the map, and that's ultimately why they were able to take it. But Mirage, it kind of fell flat, and Selfless was able to take that one.
All right, guys, so without further ado, we're going to take a quick break. The next matchup is probably our hardest-hitting matchup of the evening. It's going to be Liquid versus CLG. And we will be back in a couple of minutes, guys. We're actually going to be switching over to the other channel, the main ESL channel, which is going to be ESL_CSGO. So we'll see you guys over there in a few minutes. And we will be back very, very shortly for CLG versus Liquid. First map is going to be on Cobblestone. So we'll see you over there.
ESL Pro League